Hello all. Today we are going to learn React testing. Yes, one of the most feared thing in the for a program at the unit test, which they have to write in React testing library or Jest. This is one of the most like feared feature, and we are going to overcome that fear. We are going to write the test, and we are going to also use TypeScript, which is very popular, but you don't need to know TypeScript that much. We are going to test a simple app which we are going to create and just get started. There is nothing to show like the final app at all because we're going to test it. Mainly, we're going to test it. There will not be much GUI there. The testing will be there, and you learn testing in a very easy way. Okay, so let's get started. And let me share my screen now. Okay, so what I had done, I had I had created a app like npx create react app react testing and template equal to TypeScript. So this is how what we can do. Like a bit of TypeScript also comes in the project. Okay, so that is there. A bit of TypeScript will also come. So let us open it quickly. So I'll do it a code dot, and it will open. Oh, why it is showing? Okay, maybe I have not done a CD. Okay, sometimes these things happen. So it is a React testing, and then I'll do a code dot, and yeah. So this is, wow, file has been opened. Now what we are going to do? One more thing I want to tell, like testing, you don't have to do any additional setup nowadays unless you use something else. So if you come to any React app, what you are going to see, they like this testing library, just DOM, React, user event. So the testing libraries are already installed when you create an app with the create React app. The testing libraries are already there. Don't have to do any additional configuration out there. Okay, so that is there. So like this, if you go and see the src, we have this app.tsx because it's a tsx file. Okay, so let me also increase the font size. Okay, so tsx is there, and then this app.test.txt is there. Okay, so this is there, and this is a simple test. So as I've told, no need to fear like render a screen, and I'm going to tell more about it. But let us see, let us not run this React app because it is a testing thing. So what we have to do, you go to this package.json, you will see that npm test is there. Okay, so npm test is there. Npm run test actually you have to do. Or okay, so or let me see, forgot. Okay, npm test will work. So test the script. Okay, npm test, if I want to do, yeah, so testing script is running. Okay, it's strange. Okay, so it will give no test found since last commit. Okay, since last commit. Okay, it will give this thing. Then I have to run the, okay, also let me increase the font size here. Okay, so make it a bit big, small, and A, run all test. A you have to press, and it will tell that okay, one passed and all this. And this is just a warning for Babel. Okay, so I will do a Control C to come out of here. Okay, so this we are done. So okay, so we are not going to use this test which is there. So let us this is how they are testing the app.test. We are going to write our own test. Okay, so for this we are also going to create some of the things. So in the src, I am going to create a, okay, components folder, and inside this I am going to create a folder called welcome. Okay, welcome I'm going to create, and then here inside this I will write two files. First file is welcome.psx, and second file is, right, where it is gone. Okay, new file, welcome.psx. test.psx. Okay, so test file are always attached with this dot test. So it's a test file. Dot, there are other ways also, but I don't want to go to much detail. So test.tsx. Okay, so like this it will be there. Okay, so now let us also create a simple functional component. So which I will do with the RAFCE, because we have the famous this snippet generator we have. So I can give RFC to generate a functional component. Okay, so now what? Now Uh, as I've told, TypeScript, we're using TypeScript, but not required to know that much of TypeScript. And also, you can easily change it to a JavaScript. Just you don't have to give a type of anything which I'm typing. Okay, so this is a welcome component. So what will happen to the welcome component? It will get a props. But if I was using types JavaScript, I would ended here. Okay, but it's a TypeScript. So what I have to do here? I have to mention the type of the props. So how I do? This is not a TypeScript course, but let us do a bit welcome props I will give, and then the lang is string, lang is string, and props welcome props is there. So you have to give the type of the props. Type of the prop is that it is it will be of lang will be there of the type string. So props dot lang. So the lang will come here. Okay, props dot lang. Okay, so that is there. Now, we don't have to pass it from anywhere, most probably, because as I told, it's a testing tutorial. You don't have to see what will happen if I pass it from somewhere. Okay, let me do one more thing. Let me make it a bit smaller and adjust it here. Okay, so that is it, because most of the things we're going to run here only. We're not going to show any GUI or something, because we're writing the test. You don't need any GUI for writing the unit test and all. Okay, so most of the time we're not going to show anything. So now I have to test this component. This is a simple React JavaScript, or in the case TypeScript component, in which we are getting the props, and we want to test this component. So how do we test this component? So first thing is that, just like here, what we have to do, we have to bring this. See, the React was not using, then also they imported it. So we have to bring this two things, React render and screen, at testing library React. So this is the testing library at React, which we have to bring, and then we have to also import the component which we're testing, which is the welcome component. Welcome from welcome. Okay, like this we have to do. Then we have to write this test. Right, we have to write this test. Test is inside this we are going to write all the test. Okay, so test function. Okay, from Jest, it is from Jest. It takes two parameter. One is this welcome renders correctly, and comma, and we are going to do it here like this. Okay, so second parameter, first parameter is the name of the text. Okay, and the second parameter is like the function which will execute. First parameter, you see that this test will be known as welcome renders correctly, and the second parameter is the arrow function in which we really write the test. So first thing is that in the test I do a render. So render the welcome component. Okay, so the welcome component will render here, because first we have to render it. Then in this unit test, what we do, const elem equal to screen dot get by, of course VS Code will tell me get by text screen. So it will first render the component, then see in the when the component is rendered, it will be render on the DOM. So it will see, okay, screen dot get by, not test ID, it is text ID is different. Okay, so get by text. Okay, get by text and welcome. So then I'll do a text. Okay, so what it is basically doing, screen dot get by text, it will see that whether some welcome name is there, which is true. Welcome is there. Like when this component will be done, a little bit of, as with the React testing, you need a little bit of your React knowledge to start with React testing. Of course, this is for a bit advanced people who know React and who want to learn more about testing. Okay, of course. So which is a must in mid-level companies and all, to test your project, like they know that 80% they have to give the coverage, and this testing comes unit testing. This is one of unit testing which comes in the developer domain, not in the tester domain. Tester do automation testing with Selenium or manual testing, but this is something which the developer have to do, the unit testing. Okay, so expert and expect 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 elum. Okay, so dot. So unit testing are very easy actually, but the problem occurs when we have something like a complicated thing like providers or something in the picture. Okay, to be in the document. Expect elum to be in the document. This is again, all these functions are inbuilt into Jest. We're using the Jest right now. Expect elum to be in the document. When it will be rendered, it should be checked that whether it is in the document. So we'll write one more test here. Okay, so test and welcome, welcome, welcome r- renders with a blank. This welcome renders with a blank, and then render welcome. But we're running welcome again. But we will see that if I can pass some prop to it. Just like if I'm going to call this welcome from the it means the app.txs. I'm not doing anything here. If I'm going to pass the welcome, so then what I'm going to do, then I'm going to pass a lang prop, which will be like anything I can pass it here. So I'm passing React. So this is how like it will see. The testing is like you emulate the real thing in a testing. Okay, that is testing. Okay. So then const elum equal to screen dot get by text welcome React, because that is what it will happen, like welcome React. Okay, then the same thing we have to do. So why not copy paste it? Why not? Every developer love to do copy pasting. So expect elum to be in the document. So these are the our two simple tests. Like this here also they have something like this. Okay, get by text, learn React, and all those things to be in the document. Okay. So that is there. Now open the terminal again. So it is already open anyways. I should not have closed this npm test, or I've tried it again and it keeps on actually running. Npm test. I could do and see. It automatically passed. So test suite one passed, two passed. See, welcome test.tsx, welcome renders correctly, and welcome renders with a lang. We can also make one of it fail, like welcome, like maybe I will write welcome and Angular. And I don't like to fail test. Okay, so it will give something like this. Okay, it failed. Welcome, unable to find a text. Unable to find the element of the text. Welcome Angular. Okay, so like this it will give. Now again I will revert it back, save it, and it will be done. Okay, it will be done. Now uh, we will learn one more thing. Like what happens? Like I don't think they have it here in the example test, but we generally, like there are two tests here. We generally what wrap all the tests in something known as a describe block. Okay, describe block again, it's like test is also block, so we wrap everything in a describe block, and I'll write welcome comma yes and yes. Okay, so like this will do, and if I save it now, this welcome is also been shown. Like it's a good way to like group things. Okay, so like this we do it. Now we will add coverage in our project. Okay, so this is something which developers are always feared about. Like in real project, like this is just teaching me. Ask any developer how they fear about the coverage. So what happens nowadays in medium range and big companies, whatever you write the code at the end of the sprint, so everybody works on sprint, you have to like have a 80% coverage. 80% coverage means if I write 100 lines of code, 80 lines should be covered by it. And this coverage thing, you'll keep on checking and bringing it up. So after development, this testing also takes a lot of time. This unit testing which the developer have to do. Okay, so I will go here and do a package.json here, and then here I want to write a one more script. So that script will be known as coverage, and npm test dash 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 coverage dash dash watch watch all. Okay, it should be watch all, and it should be exactly like this. I'll give the repo. You can take it from the repo, but there should be this dash and watch all. Okay, so I'll save it. Now, what I will do. Okay, so let me close this thing. I'll run a npm. Let me see one thing. coverage. Okay, it will not do. Okay, so if I write something on my own, so React has already put all those things. I have to use this run thing. That is something which I was seen. So because start, build, test, eject was created by React, so you can directly run it. Npm start, npm build, npm test, npm eject. But coverage is something which I have added. So npm run, you have to use the run word. Coverage, npm run coverage, and it will first do the testing. Okay, first do the testing, and then it will give the coverage. Okay, SRC is statement 8.3% statement is covered, lines is covered this much, and this is very important, how much lines are covered, and 100. So it is giving that. So when you work in a company, you have to give everything as 100%. Okay, so okay, so but we know that index.tsx, app.js, and all these things. I don't want the coverage for that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to update it with something known as from where I want the coverage. Okay, so dash dash collect coverage coverage from equal to src components star star dot ts comma tsx. Okay, so like this I'll have coverage, everything should be correct. Okay, and it's camel case collect coverage from src component. I want to go to the src component star and typescript text files. Okay, so this if you're using javascript js or jsx. Okay, you have to do. So now mm, let's see one thing, again run it. Okay, now see, everything is fast because we are only seeing the welcome. Okay, so the coverage is like 100%. So now we'll learn the different. Let me close this thing. Close this thing. Close this thing. Now we will learn different ways to test the React component. So first component, like this welcome was anyways a React component, but it's a very simple React component. Now the next thing which we are going to do, we are going to test a form component. So I'll go inside this components, and inside this I'll create a new folder for RM form, and inside this form I will have first have a form dot tsx I'll have, and then oh, I don't like this like mistake. Um, okay, so let us quickly have a form. So rfce, come on, see. Mhm. But why it is telling that it is giving this as capital? Okay, no problem. Like this, we have this, and then we'll have the foreign form, and then div, and inside this div, label, HTML name for name, and input type text, and ID equal to name, and then div. So first is a normal text box, and second one I will have a drop down. So label HTML for location. If you want a revision on the React piece, we have a lot of React from beginners to advanced and all those things we have. You can check out the channel. Location, okay, location, and then select name is location and ID is location. Okay, like this, and then option value first one let be like this, country name, and then option value is in India, US, United States, and UK, United Kingdom, AU, US, Australia, and CA, Canada. Okay, let's save it. uh, then I'll come here and div input type is text box and ID equal to term terms. Okay, and then you can have the label afterward also. Okay, so this is something which you should know. So label HTML for is terms terms, and all is AGREED. All is agreed. Okay, and let us also have a button also of type SUBMIT, submit. Save it. Now let us also do one more thing here. Okay, so why to give the app dot like tsx, not have anything. So let me change it. Okay, this logo and React I don't need, remove it, save it, save. Okay, it will show. I will do this later on because what is happening, my like app.txt will fail because I have changed this thing. I don't want to test it right now. So the better thing is to delete it and move to trash because we have totally changed the way it is. Okay, so that is there. Now also let us do one thing. Let us have a npm starting the React app also. Okay, although we are not going to use much of it. Okay. I don't know why this is showing like this. Never exported it also like this. First time I know I did the mistake. First time. Yeah. So this is something I feel sometimes weird with TypeScript. So see, I did everything right. That also it is telling that okay, it is different from this. I think it goes in some place. So this is giving this thing. Okay, so let me do one thing. form dot tsx v and control s. Here to do these things. Okay, so that is there, and you'll see like this simple form is there. Okay, so that is there. Simple form is there. Now, okay. Now what we are going to do? We are going to test this form. So let us quickly create a form dot test dot tsx. Test dot tsx. I'm going to have and okay, I don't want it to be executed, so that's why you should always keep it off. Okay, so this thing like irritates a lot. Okay, so it's always better to off it. Okay, so from the text, okay, let it be coming. Okay, so that is it. So what we are going to do here again, so I have opened this thing because I don't want to write this thing again. So I have to import this thing, and then we have to import the import form form. Okay, so like this, and then let us have a describe also here. Describe and form comma like this, and test. First one will be renders correct renders correctly. So what we are going to learn here, like a different kind by different kind, which we can test. Here we have seen that to be in the document. No, the main thing is that get by text. So get by text, it checks that whether that text is available or not. Like this, there's a lot of other thing in Jest also, and we are going to learn some of them. We cannot learn everything, but we are going to learn most of them. So render as a form. Again, you have to do, then you have to do a const name elam equal to string dot get by role. Okay, string dot get by role is something in which I have to pass a text box. Okay, get by role a text box. So where is the text box? Text box. Okay, I should have. Okay, text box is this input type text. Okay, so get by role text box, and then I have to do. So let me do one more thing. npm test here. Let it be running, and then okay, it failed. Okay, so I should have run it later on, but it keeps on checking. So no need to worry. Expect name. Okay, name ilam name dot to be in the document, to be in the document. Save it. Yeah, see, it is getting passed. It is getting passed. So get by role text box. It is testing what? It is testing this text box. Get by role text box. Okay, so it is testing that. Then we will do one more. Get by role. This I will name location elam, and location elam. Get by role. Okay, get by role. Get by role. Combo box. Get by role. Combo box. What is this combo box? Combo box. Actually, there are some things which you should know, like combo box. Not everything you can always Google it or see the official docs. Combo box. What is this combo box? Combo box is nothing but this drop downs are known as combo box. So it's a location. So drop down not combo box. So I will do this, and then I will save it. It will again be refreshed and see. It is getting that passed. Okay, getting that passed. One sec. Getting that passed. Welcome and form test. Okay, So it is getting passed. So the next thing also, what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a get by role. So it's not location elem, it is the terms terms elem, and get by role. Now what is this called? This is called a checkbox. Okay, it is called a checkbox only, like this type is checkbox, it is called checkbox. But options and selects are not called options and select, they're called as combo box. So who have created it, they liked it like this. Okay, so I'll do a checkbox, and then again this terms dot elem. Why okay, no problem. It should, I don't like it, like why two gaps are there? So that's not a camel case. Okay, so see, the test is passing. So now next thing is submit submit elem, and it is butt on button, and submit elem is to be in the document, and it's showing like this. Okay, so all of them are passing quite well. Okay, so this is how we get by role. So get by role, the button is known as the button only. So now what I'm going to do, after this text, I'm going to do a div and an label label description and description. Okay, and then I'll have a text area. Text area name. I don't need these things, so I will remove them. Name is maybe the same thing. Description, and ID is also description. Okay. So if I save it, not testing anything, but you see it will fail. So whether it is seeing found multiple element with the role text box. Okay, so you cannot do this thing. So text area is also text box. So why it is it failed? So because we are using get by role text box, but which text box we don't know, which text box, so it is getting confused. You cannot put like this. Okay, so how we can fix it? Okay, so get by role also takes a second parameter which we can give it. So I will come here and do a comma and this, and then name is name. Name is name means what? Means the name of the label is name. Okay, then I will go here. Okay, so it means the label name. Label name is name. Okay, always label is connected with the input. So HTML for an ID should be same for that. The basic HTML I'm telling. So the label is name. So it will check this one. Okay, so I'll save it. It will get passed. Okay, so now it know which one is there. So we'll check the other thing also. So it will be again same. So I have to copy and paste and DESC disk elem, and text box name is DESC RIP description. Okay, description, and disk elem to be in the document. Save it, and the test is getting passed. So back in the form.tsx, what we are going to do here, I am going to add a h1 as personal information and I basic info. I will write, save it. Okay, so I just written two things. Now we'll do. further test for these things. So let us go here and do the further test, and let us write it here only. So it will be copy one of them. Okay, so I'll write const. I can write anything. I'll write h1 elem get by role. It is heading, heading, and heading is like level is 1. Level is 1, and h5 elem level is level is 1 means h1. Level is 5 means h5. Level is 5 means h5. Save it. Okay. Okay, it will be called headings and like this. Okay, so this is how this is run. Okay, now we'll look in the next type. So we have seen mainly the get by role here, so we'll look into the next type. It is called the get by label text, which checks the text in the label tag as it is telling. So this name elem is there. I will come here and maybe I'll copy paste it. Okay, so then name elem who screen dot this is known as get by label text. Get by label text. Here you have to give the name, and so get by label text. What is the label text name? It is name. So that you have to pass, and here you have to pass the parameter like selector is what? Selector is of type input. Selector is of type input. Okay, so like this, I'll do Control C and Control V. Save it. You will see this thing be coming like this. Now the similar thing we are going to do in this terms. So terms elem 2, terms elem 2 screen dot get by label text. Get by label text again. And what is the label text of the checkbox? Label text of the checkbox is all is well, not all is well, all is agreed. Okay, so all is agreed. Then to be in the document. Save it. Okay, save it, and see, you're going to see like it is also passed. It is also passed. Now, uh, what I'm going to do in this name, in this input type text ID name, I'm going to add a place holder equal to enter name. I'll save it now. Okay, so now again I have to test this thing placeholder. So where to test it? It is better to test it here, but I don't need. Okay, I'll write it by my own. Const name elem3 equal to screen dot get by placeholder text. Get by placeholder text. Okay, placeholder text. So what is the placeholder? Here, get the placeholder. It describes very well. The placeholder is enter name. Enter name. Okay, enter name. Name and expect name elem 3 dot to be in the document. To be in the document. To be in the document. In the document it is okay. Now This is what is the get placeholder text. Okay. So now I'll go back here and do a p and fill up all your basic information. Okay. So now, so here, uh, what we are going to learn now. Okay. So what we are going to learn now, fill up the basic information. We are going to learn actually something which we had done earlier, which is get by text. It just check the text on the DOM and it will give us the result. So after this H5, I will like we have written this new paragraph. We are going to check that thing. So now you see like how easy this unit testing is. So const para. Hope nobody is afraid anymore. Para elem equal to scheme dot get. I've written a lot of text, production text in my career. So I also used to be afraid, like most of my team. So we were not afraid of coding. We used to love coding. But then after just writing this test case, this like, yeah. Okay. So like we didn't knew all these things at that time. So fill up all of your basic information and spec and para ilum is to be in the document. And now I work for a startup. In startup, we hardly test. We don't get the times and all those things. It's generally happens in mid-level and the big companies who test everything thoroughly or thoroughly. Okay, so that is there. So get by text, it will just test, check the text is there, fill up all your basic information. Okay, basic information. Or sometime in some big project, the client needs, like if you're working in a service company, client will say, I will need 80% coverage in all the functions which you create. It increases the development time. Okay, so because node unit testings are done by developers, not by testers. Okay, tester uses selenium, java and all those things. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to have in this form a image. So I'm going to have a img image c. Okay, so I want a random image, random. Okay, one sec. I'm getting a random image from the other screen. So just random image and alt is and image. Okay. Mm, like this, I will write. Now, or I'll write it's better. Random man image. Okay. So now we're seeing the get by text. We have one more thing for that. The image tag only have this alt thing. Alt thing is not there in many other tags. I am not remembering. It is there in something else also. So what I'm going to do in this para elem, I will come and do a const img elem equal to string dot get by alt text, and whatever is there, it is like random man image. I'll put random man image, then expect img elem dot to be in the document. To be in the document will be there. Okay, image elem to be in the document. Okay, so this is all text is there, random man image. So all text we have done. So now next thing is that I'm going to come here and we'll have a span here, span of x and title, title equal to open. Okay, so this title is some tag with which also we can check. So I will go here and after this h5, it's much more better to give it after this h5. Const close elem equal to screen dot get by title and open and expect close elem dot to be in the document, to be in the document. Okay, so to be in the document. So get by title, open, we have seen. Okay, so seen it is there in the document. Okay, so now there is one more thing. Sometimes some element doesn't have something, so we want to test that thing. So what we are going to do here is like where is my image? Okay, image is here. So I do a div and custom HTML I will write and is equal to data test ID equal to custom ELEM, custom ELEM data ID, data test. So this spatial tag is only for testing. Okay, and you'll also not get an error if you do this thing. Data test ID. This is specially created for test. Okay, this data test. This attribute is basically created for that. So I will go here and do a const custom ELEM equal to screen dot get by test ID, get by test ID, and anyways, VS Code will help me to do this thing. And this is known as custom ELEM, custom ELEM. Let me check whether it is the right name. Custom ELEM is the right name. And then, of course, as always, document dot get expect custom ELEM to be in the document. And it is getting fast. Okay, so this is there. Okay, so we are going to learn to test arrays, use state and use effective, which is like one of the most important thing in a React project. Okay, so for that what we are going to do, we are in this let me close some of these things. Okay, welcome, I'll close form also. I don't need, I will close this thing. Maybe I'll take something from the form test. So I have opened it. So component, I will create a new component. Here I will create a folder called lang. Inside this I will create a languages dot tsx, languages dot tsx, and the other thing which I will create is languages dot types dot ts. Only ts I will get. I am still not getting the testing file. Okay, so the types will contain the type. So export type langs props equal to languages is of string array. So languages is a string array. Okay, so this is how we write it in TypeScript. Okay, so this types I have created. Now in the languages will be the main file, in which this lang props I have kept it in a different file. During the form we have kept it in the same file, but we can keep it in a different file also. So RAFCE, create a functional component. Then languages, I will come and do a props. Props will be langs props, which of course it will import. Then I will have a const destructure it, languages equal to props. Okay, so then ul is languages dot map and lang. Okay, so inside the UL, I'm looping through this and simple reacting. Okay, so nothing much complicated. And inside this li, I will have a lang and p equal to lang. Okay, key equal to lang. Okay, so these two things I will set. Now what I'm going to do, languages, now we are going to write the test. Of course, I'm going to write the test. So in this I'll write a languages dot test dot ess. So we're first testing the arrays. Okay, so testing the arrays. So languages dot text and types I can close anyways. So we did a lot of tests in the form file. Okay, so the basic tests were done in the form file. Now we're learning some advanced testing. Okay, so first thing is the import languages from languages. Then it is failing because I have not written anything. Okay, so this type languages and then like this and then render languages and languages, and we have to pass some arrays here which I will call langs at the moment. And what is this langs? This is something which we have to create. Okay, so this langs is something which I'm going to create here. So const langs equal to html css and javascript comma react. Okay, so like this, now that has also gone away. So okay, I forgot to do the main thing. So describe cannot have something like this. Okay, so describe will be common, but this have to go inside a test. Okay, so this lang will be common. So this is also something which you can do. So test will be under correctly and like this and under and const list elem equal to screen dot get by role. So one we should have this thing, or get by role, which is a list. We have a list, only list here. So you can always give this test. This is the like a evergreen test. Okay, so this and then now let me take one expect from here. Why to write everything? Expect, not find this thing. Expect the list item to be there, and the moment I do it, test will pass. So now the next text will be for this, like this was a simple test. Now the next text will be for this array. So I will come here and do a test render a list of languages like this, and then render the same thing. I'll have it here. Then const li lums, okay, equal to screen dot get all by get all by role. Okay, get all by role. So list elums means the like when this will run, this will contain a lot of allies. Okay, so whatever the array length. So in this case, if I'm passing the array of length 4, it will create 4 allies. Okay, so that is what we are getting. Okay, so then get by role, it is known as list item. So these are all keywords. So get by role list is there, get by role list item is also there. Now we are not going to have like to be in the document. We're going to check something else. Expect, and this is also very popular test. Okay, expect ally elums to have length, to have length lands dot. Okay. So those allies should be of the length this. When it will be run down the screen, those allies should be have the length of, like in this case 1, 2, 3, 4. It should be having 4. So I will save it and it will be of course be passed. Okay. So now we'll go back in the langs. We've done our array testing and we are going to have the use state hook now. Okay. So let us do that and introduce state in the project. State in this component is logged in, comma set is logged in equal to use state is suppose done false. Use state is false. Okay. So one more thing which I have to do is wrap everything with a fragment, and the UL will be here. And okay, so the UL will be here, and then I'm going to use the is logged in, then question mark is logged in, and then button, and then this thing happens. Button start course is logged in, then button will show start course if it is true. Okay, so right now it is false. Or else we will have a button called login, which will have a on click handler, which will just do the set is logged in as true. So right now it is false. It will make it as true. Like this, it will be there. Now I'll save it. Now it's time to get this out. Okay. So yeah, it will anyways not give me some error because we have not tested it. It is there. Okay. Test render login button is like this. And then render, I do write it again. So render is here like this. If you are using, this is not required anyway, semicolon, but if you're using, then you should use it. So that is done. Then I will do a const login btn equal to screen dot get by role. Screen dot get by role will be butt on button, comma name is login. Okay, name is login. And so why I have given the name as login? Because not the name as uh, like start course, because initially it is false. Initially it will be login button only when this will be loaded. Okay, so renders login button. So it will by default it will render a login button. Expect, these are some things which you should keep in mind. Okay, so login button dot to be in the document, to be in the document. Save it, and it is passed. Okay, so now we'll do a different kind of a test. So test is start. You should give the current description in the test. Start course button is not rendered. Start course button is not rendered. We'll have like again this render button I will have, and const start urs course start course button equal to start course button equal to theme dot okay. So this is something else which we need to use, uh like if you are seeing like it is not rendered, because by default this course button will not be rendered, because unless we change the state this course button will not be rendered. Okay, so screen dot query by role. Okay, we cannot use the uh, get by role here. Okay, query by role, and it will be button comma like this. Name will be this thing, which is this start course. Name will be the start course, and we are going to expect something different here. Expect start course button dot not dot to be in the document. Dot not is very important because that will not be there. Okay, so dot not dot to be in the document. So this is coming like this. Okay, so okay, so now this is done. Now the thing which we are going to see is the like how to test use effect. So we are going to come here and do a use effect like this, and then uh, set time out. Okay. So what I'm going to do in the use effect, that set is logged in will be true after, it will run after every 1000 milliseconds, which is 1 second. But I have to run it in the component did mount way, like it should run only once, or else it will give some very big error. So this set timeout, like it will run every 1 second, and it will make this is uh, is logged in as true, which by default it is false. Okay, so that is something which we have done. Now how to test it? Okay, so we have seen the start test course button is not displayed. Okay, so now we have to do the opposite of it. Okay, so for that only we actually we did it there. So we have this thing like this. Start course button is displayed. Okay, start course button is displayed. Uh, we'll have this thing first. Then I'm going to have a sync. For a reason, I am going to have this as sync. So const start course button equal to await, because I require the await here. Await pin dot. You know why I require that. Find by role. So like get by role, query by role, we have find by role also. Find by role, which is button comma name will be same thing, start course. And but we can give one more thing here. Okay, so what will happen the moment like this component will load, it will run this thing after 1 second. But we have to set the timeout to like 200 like 2 seconds, because like we don't want it to run forever. And the second thing is that since this use effect is running, so it gets over in 500 like millisecond. Okay, it gets over in 500 milliseconds, so we have to do this uh, timeout, or else it will not work. Timeout is 1000, because at least it should run for 2000 2 millisecond or 2 second, because this is running after 1 second, so at least it should be more than that. So try to put it like, if it is 1 second, try to put it 2 seconds. Okay, but don't put it more than that. Okay, so that is how we do it. And then now we can do this thing like control C, control V, and like instead of not, we'll have a to be in the document. Okay, so I will save it, and it is done. Okay, so now we will learn to test click events in our project. Okay, we are not yet learned to check click events. So for click events, do we need something? We don't need anything, because this user events is there, which does this click events. Okay, but there is one small problem here. By default in React, we have a 13.5 version, but it was actually updated, and we need the latest one. So what we are going to do here, Control J to open the integrated terminal, and name I. Let me copy this thing at React testing library at latest latest. Okay, if you're seeing it in the future, like you do it at the rate 14. Okay, so 14, because this video for is for 14 instead of at the rate latest, at the rate 14.4.3 it is added. So now what we are going to do is, again, let me close this thing, close this thing, close this thing, and we are going to create a new thing. Okay, so in this components folder, I'm going to create a new folder called count, and count.tsx, count.tsx, and then const count, set count equal to use state of 0. Okay, use state of 0. Then in this I will go and h1 of count I will do, and then uh, button of increment, and then on click of set. So we are having very simple components, because the main focus is testing, not this component. But the complex components are also like simple components, only a bit complex, and you can always try to do this testing. So the next thing which we are going to create is a test file. So count dot test dot psx, count dot test dot psx. Sorry. So like this we have now. Let us have some of the things, like first thing is that I'm going to have this thing. Okay, now I'm going to have one more thing here. Okay, so that user event which you have seen, I'm going to import user from at testing library, and user event. I'm going to select the user event and then import count from count also. I'm going to do, and then okay, this type count, mm, this, then test renders correctly. So we have to do the render of count like this, then const count elem equal to stream dot get by role heading. Okay. Get by role heading. So because we are heading like this, okay. So get by role heading we are getting. Then expect count elem dot to be in the document. We'll have, then we'll also have a const increment btn equal to scrw string dot get by role button. So this button, this increment button, we are getting get by role button. Name is increment, then set the increment button to be in the document. Okay. So a lot of tests are there. So the test has passed. So now the next test we are going to do is the test renders count of 0 and count count elem equal to screen dot get by role heading. So what I'm getting again, the heading I am getting, but this time what I want to get screen dot get by role renders a count of 0. So when this component will be loaded first time, the count of 0 will be shown on the screen. I mean, that much React you should know. Okay, so expect count elem dot to have text content of 0. To have text content of 0. To have text content of 0 is something which you have. So by default, it should have the text content of 0. So yeah, this will pass. Okay, so now the final test. Like in the final test, we're going to check the clicking of the button. For that only we have used this thing, event thing. Okay. So this is a very important test. This is something which you should know, like what happens when the click event is done. This is some very important testing thing which you should know. So test and render count of 1 after clicking increment. So after clicking the increment button, it should enter this. Okay. So I will have a ACY async like this. Sync will be there. And first thing is that you have to do user dot setup. Okay, so this is something which you need to do. So which is this user event, user dot setup you have to do. Then again render the count to do, and then I will get this increment button again. Okay, so a lot of same code, and then the main thing. Okay, await user dot click. So it will do the click event for us. User dot click the increment buttons. This is very important. User dot click increment button. Then const count elem, const count elem dot cost, const const count elem equal to screen dot get by role heading. Okay, get by role heading, and expect count elem ought to have text content of one, to have text content of one. Okay, so it is like same, to have text content of 0, to have text content of 1, but we are clicking the increment button, then we are getting again the heading, but this time we'll have 1. Okay, so I will save it and see the test got passed. So this is what it is all over. So now what I'm going to go here, and we're going to change something here, and here I'll have a const amount comma set amount equal to use state of 0, like this. And after this button on click, I will have a input type number and name equal to amount, value equal to amount, on change equal to e, set amount int. So we want to change the, like by default it's a string which will come. So string, like string 1 2 3, whatever we write, it is like this. So that's why we are using the parsing dot target dot value. Then I will have a button of that will be having the on click equal to set count of amount, set count of amount. So see, like what we are actually doing, it's always good to see this thing, like select. My code is running, yeah, it's running. So let's see also. Okay, so see, like what I have done, like this input type and name amount is there. The amount is by default it is 0, and on change this set amount will be whatever this e dot target dot value, like it will be there. Okay, and then what I'm doing here, when I'm clicking here, this set count will be equal to this amount. So if I write 10 here, okay, 10 here, and then I will set it, it will become 10, and increment will work as usual. So whatever I first have to write it here, then I'm clicking the set, it will become that. So that's why I'm doing the set count, okay, in this. Okay, so that is it. Now we have to write the test for the count. Okay, so first we are going to write a bit. This is seems like a bit complicated, but it is not that complicated. Okay. So I'm going to go here and do a test render count of 10 after clicking set button. Again, it will be a sync like this, and then user dot setup, and then render count, and now const amt input equal to screen dot get by role spin button. So what is the spin button? Get by role. What is the spin button? Actually, the spin button is nothing but an input type number. Input type number is called a weird thing, which is known as a spin button. This is actually weird, but yeah, sometimes you have to know this weird thing. So then await user dot type amt input, comma, 10. Okay, so like this, I'm in this. I'm typing in the amt input, which is this. I'm writing 10 here. I'm writing 10 here. Okay. So then, just like I am writing 10 here. So this is what it is emulating. Okay. So I'm writing 10 here. Now I want not this increment button, but let me copy that thing. But sometimes copying you get some error. So I don't want the increment button. I want the set button. So this set button I want. Set button is get by role, and it is written set here. Okay. Then what I am doing, await user dot click set button. User dot click set button. So means after this I am clicking here. Now when I am clicking here, what will happen? My count column. I'm getting the heading now. So when I'm clicking here, I'm getting the heading here, and this will be 10. Do we have text content 10? And if I save it, and if I go here, see my test got passed. Okay, so we're going to have one more test here. So this will be different test. Test elements to have focus in right ORDER, comma, think. I'll tell what is this test about. Then again, we have to do these two things: user dot setup, and we have, I want this three things. So user dot setup, user, and the amount I have done, spin button amount input we have taken, and we need to do this set button also. Set button, and I need to choose the increment button also. So I'll have the code for the increment button also. So now, like user dot click, we can emulate the await user dot tab also. So tab, like when you use a keyboard, you will use a tab. I'll show this thing once more. Okay, so expect increment button dot to have focus, to have focus. Okay, like this. Then again, I will have this thing await user dot tab amount input to have focus, user.tab button to have focus. So now let me first run it. I will tell one thing, like what is this focus. So it is running. So what is this focus? So when you come to any website like this, okay, so let me once like do this, I'll come here, then I'll press the tab. So what will happen? See, the blue color is showing on the increment. So increment to have focus first time. Do the tab, then the amount have focus. Do the tab, then setup focus. So this you can run everything from the mouse keyboard also. A lot of people prefer to do it like this. Okay, so this is the test we are doing, and this test is also passing correctly. Okay, so that is the so next we'll learn to add test when the provider like context API or a theme provider is added in our project. So like that, so it's again very important test. So what we are going to do here is that I need to or let it run. I'll do it from here. You can always do it from here. So PLC here, and then npm install at MUI SMATERIAL at emotion react. So we are installing some of the libraries which are used to, for the icons and all. Okay, and emotion STYLED emotion style, new material, emotion react, and emotion style. Okay, so I will add these things here. Yeah, it is added properly. So, close some of the things. Now in the SRC, we'll have a new folder called providers, and this providers will contain a file mode providers dot tsx, mode providers dot tsx. Then anyways, it is giving a bit of error, mode provider dot tsx. Okay, okay, so here we will first have a import theme provider. Not from here, theme provider. Let me write it again. Theme provider is from material UI also. Okay, so we'll get this theme provider from material, new material. It is actually STYLES styles. Okay, theme provider, comma, create theme here, and then we'll have one more thing here, import CSS baseline. CSS baseline also I am getting, and then const theme equal to create theme. So create theme is there. So we are using this material you are creating like this. Palette is, mode is dark. Then export const mode providers equal to this. I'll have a return, and then okay. So theme provider, theme will be equal to, so you're also learning how to create a theme. Okay, so the theme, everything is like there, like we are using this from material UI. Okay, and then we'll have a CSS baseline, which again we have imported, and then I will have a children. children I will have. Okay, so one more thing, like we have to pass this children. We have to pass this children. So children children have to pass, and then children children, and because it's a TypeScript, we have to write this thing. Okay, React. Not you're not using TypeScript, you don't have to write this thing. React node. This I will save it, and now. Okay. So this mode providers is there. Now we will go. We will have a new component, and we'll call this MUI. And in this MUI, so it is like a context API. We create the context in a different place, and then we use it MUI, and I will have a MUI mode.tsx mode.tsx, and okay. And one more thing also we are going to do in this MUI mode.tsx we have created, but we'll go to this app dot okay. I want a testing only. Okay, so app, I'm going to go, and app, you are going to import this thing. So how I'm going to do this thing is that I will come here and do a mode provider, just like context. Okay, mode providers, it will, don't want this count, but okay, one thing, I have to make something here. Okay, RAFCE, save it, or else it will not give. And MUI mode, which will import it. This I will delete, and this I will move up, just like in context API. But this is how we do the theme thing. Okay, so I will cut here, and then okay, yeah. So this is all is good. Save it. Then okay. So now MUI mode.tsx, we have to create something in this thing. So what we are going to create it. So mode.tsx is there, and then I will come here and do a const theme equal to use theme emotions, not use theme will also be not from emotion react, it will be from at MUI slash material, at MUI slash material it will be there, and then use theme is there. Then inside this return I will have only one statement, so it is better to have a typography. Again it's from material. Okay, again it's from material. Okay, typography is it will require a component equal to h1, and also here, why I'm not having this thing, typography also will import from the same place, material here, and then I will have a pick dollar them theme dot palette dot mode and mode. Okay, dot mode and mode. I will save it. Okay, so is my localhost working fine? Localhost is working fine. And see the dark mode. This is how we you implement dark mode. Okay, so I have to only use the mode as dark, and everything like it will be done. So this is how you use a theme file also. In the app.js, you have to use it like this. Then you are just using it with the typography from material, and you are getting the whole of the mode as a dark mode, and it is also showing it as like what mode is there. So if I make it LIGHT light, see the light mode is coming now. So now we are going to write some test for this complicated thing, this MUI mode. Okay, so we are going to write some test for that. So where is this MUI mode? So MUI will come and do a MUI mode dot test dot tsx. MAI mode dot test dot tsx, and then of course I will get this error. Uh, okay, this time let me write it. Import render, comma string from add testing library React. Okay, import MUI mode from MUI mode, and import mode providers. Okay, so mode providers also we have to import this mode providers because we need this to do our test. So mode providers also we have import, and then I will do a describe MUI mode like this, and then test renders text correctly and render MUI mode. Okay, so render MUI mode, but there will be a wrapper also. Wrapper. So this is how you will test context also. Okay. So wrapper will be this mode providers which we have imported, and then I am going to have a const h1 elem equal to string dot get by role, and adding, and then expect h1 elem dot to have text content as. So we have the text content of light mode also. Okay, so to have text content ligst mode, if you see like this light mode was been shown light mode. Okay, so that because we are right now passing light mode. Okay, so the it will have this light mode text content also. If I save it, see this light mode text content, so the main thing is not this, main thing is our testing and our testing fast. Okay, so that is there. Now we are going to test when a prop is passed in a function, including method as props, like we pass the props in the opposite direction. Okay, so we are going to do that thing. So for that, let me close some of the things. I'll come here, and I'll create a new component called counter, and in this counter component I'll have a counter dot psx and counter dot types dot ts, counter dot tsx and counter dot types dot tsx, and counter dot types dot tsx is there, and export type is counter ops equal to like this, and then count is a new MVR number, and then you have a handle. So again, you have to write the props handle increment we void. So what kind of handle increment will be there? You have to write, and similar to this, I will have a handle decrement, which will also be a void. Now I will go to this counter.tsx and rafe here. first thing is that I will get a props, 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 and for the props only we have written the type. So counter props which we have written just now written, and then in this div I will go, and this h1 I write it as counter, and then the p as props dot count, and props dot handle increment, handle increment, and then button as increment. I will have a on click equal to props dot handle increment. Similar to this, I will have a props dot handle decrement, on click handle decrement, and this will be decrement button counter. Okay, so now we will, okay, so now we will write the test for the same, so which will be like the un via counter dot test dot tsx. So let's write the test, and it will, of course it will fail. So I want this thing, close this also. Okay, then I will have a import user from at testing library user event, and then import counter from counter, then describe counter command. So now we'll have a test, and correctly we'll have a render, and at the render we'll have a counter count of 0 I'm passing here, and then const text elem equal to screen dot get by text, not test id, get by text counter. So what is this? We have this counter text also, so I'm getting that counter text, and then expect text elem dot to be in the document like this, save it, and this is going to be passed. Okay, so in this counter, from this counter we are passing a thing like props dot handle increment in the opposite direction, means it will be called from some app.js or tss. I'm not writing the code, go check it out what is the method as props. Okay, so now how do we test this complicated thing? So we'll test like test handlers are called comma sync user dot set up I'll do, and then now we are going to have const increment handler equal to just dot fn, just dot function. Okay, so because this increment handler we have to create, so that's why I'm having had this, and decree handler as just dot function. Then we'll have a render counter. So in this render like this, if I am having this counter, how I'm going to call it from app.js, that will come. So count, I'm going to pass the first prop, which is a count, which I'm going to pass as 0. Then I have to pass this handle increment equal to the just dot function. Is it's a fake function. Okay, so like this increment handler, and then handle decrement is equal to decree handler. Okay, then I will have a const incree button equal to screen dot get by role button. Okay, so I'm getting this incree button. I'm calling it incree button because we have two buttons here. Okay, so incree button, which will be name will be increment. Similar, I will have a decree button. Name will be decrement. Then I will have a wait user dot click incree button, and wait user dot click decree button I'm going to have, and then expect. So we're going to have a different expect in free handler, not button, in free handler, this one to have very long name, to have been called times, to have been called one time, and free handler to have been called one times. Save it. See, finally our test got passed. Okay, so now in this final test of this video, we will test an API call, which is like a very important thing. Okay, so let us do that test, and for that I'll go here, and in this component I will create a users folder, and inside this users folder I'll have a users.tsx, and let me quickly have a RAFCE, and the other thing will be USERS dot test dot tsx. Okay, so first in this users dot tsx, what we are going to have, it is like okay, so we're going to call a simple API endpoint. So we'll have a const users set users equal to use state. So use state, it will get this. So we are going to hit the famous endpoint like JSON placeholder users. So we're going to hit this endpoint, and we're going to get back this. So okay, so no need to worry. So okay, so here But since we're using TypeScript, it's always better to give the type of it also, which is the strng string array, strng string like this. It will be there, and then we'll have a const error, comma set error equal to use state of string or null, and it will be any ln null. Okay, like this it is be there. Then we will have the like the use effect in called, and then we use the fetch API fetch of, okay, use effect being called like a component with mod means it will be called like once only. Okay, so again I am going to go here. I don't I don't like to see the errors, so I'll go here, and then in the fetch I will put this thing, and then dot, then rest is rest dot json like this, and then dot, then data is set users. Directly I'm going to set users, and data dot map. Instead of writing it in something else, I'm directly doing it here. Data dot map, and then okay, I'll have the user. But since we're using TypeScript, I'll make it as name as string. If you are not using TypeScript, you don't have to do this thing. Okay, then I will go here and user dot name. Okay, so I'm saving it like this, and if the error is there, so catch will be like this, and then set error will be error VPC fetching users, error fetching users. Now in this div, I'm going to go and have a h1 of users, and first let us check the if the error is there, then error, and then e e error, and I will go here and do a ul unordered list, and okay, so I'll have the users dot map and get the user. Okay, so get the actually here also I am getting back an object. Okay, so what is this object of string? So what I will get back is something like I'm using getting this complicated thing, and array of string like name, only name will be added. So that is what I am doing here. Okay, so now user will be like line, and it will be user, and key will be equal to user. Key will be equal to the user, save it. Okay, so like this it is there. So one more thing we need to do. So we are going to do the API call soon, but to do mock API, we need to have one more thing. Okay, so that thing is known as npmi msw. It is known as msw. Right, so mock calls are done through this, and I will do it as a s minus d. It's a dev dependency I wanted. So msw I have done. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to like okay. I'm going to go here first, and here in this inside this not inside this components, okay, but inside this src, I'm going to create a MOCK. So see, this is one of the most toughest thing to do API call through your API, and for like checking, testing the API calls. Okay, I have always struggled in these things. Okay, when I was testing like a lot of code. So mocks I will do, and then I will create a file called handler. So it requires a lot of like setup. It requires handlers dot s, and then I will also require server.s. Okay, handler.ts and server.ts. These are some other things which are required. So in this handler.ts, first I have to do a import rest from msw, then export const handlers to like this, and rest dot get. So we did the same API endpoint, rest dot get. Yeah. So rest is again like it is not like fetch API. It is like the your dummy kind of API call. So we don't want to do the real API. We never do the real API call when we are using a mock service. So that's why we do the testing like this. But sometimes this real API call takes a lot of times and all of that. So CTX, this takes like the second parameter is like this, and here I will like retur and return rest and ctx dot status 200 and ctx dot json. So what I'm telling here, like okay, so there should be it should be a comma here, ctx dot json. So I will get back a dummy data. Okay, so this is the whole data, but I will say that okay, if I do this API call through this mock, I will get. So that is what I'm saying. So name, and I will like write only this name because this is what I am expecting. Name Doe, because we are only checking that only name John Doe, comma name Mary Doe, name RABI Ravi Verma. Like this. Okay, so like this we have to do, and then in this server.ts also we have to do some setup. So yeah, we did do a lot of setup for this API one. Set up server, import setup server from msw slash node, import handlers from handlers, and then export const server equal to set up server and dot and plus. Okay, so dot handlers. So this is something which you have to do. So handler I have to get, and I have to pass it here. No, so now we are going to first do the like there is something known as the setup text. Okay, setup test. So we have to update this setup test also. So okay, sec. So this setup test also needed to be updated. Sec. Okay. So this setup test comes by default when we do this. Okay. Okay. So what we need to do here? Import test from just Tom. It is okay to have. So this is again like you don't, is all things we have to do. So we will import this server from mock test server. We have imported from mock test, mocks and server. So yeah, mocks and server we imported, and then before all it is server dot listen. It is establish API mocking before all tests. Reset all handlers when we may add the tests. Okay, reset the handlers, and then after that close the server. So this is what we have to do. So now we are going to write the test for this. Finally, I want to save it, and this handle server also I'll cut it, cut it. Okay, so now we are going to finally write the test in the users.test.tsx, and first like import and comma crwn screen from add testing library react, then import users from users, then describe users like this, and then test renders correctly and render users. Then const text elem equal to string dot get by text and users. So what is this get by text users? We have this thing. So h1 is this users. Is that we're doing the simple text first, and then expect. We should always do the simple text. Okay, so it's a trick. It increases the test numbers. Okay, to be in the document like this, and then test renders a list of users, comma sync this, and again this renders users, and then const users equal to await string dot find all by role, find all by role, and list item. Okay, list item. So again this find all by role list item, we have seen this thing, but expect users ought to have length is 3. So this is very important. To have length is 3. Okay, so I will save it. If everything is okay, a test will pass. But why the length of 3 is coming? Because here at least there are 10 users are there, because we are not doing the API call here, because we are passing it in the handler, and in handler we are having only 3 things. So it means it is not coming from here, it is coming from here. Okay, so this is very important. Okay, so that is there. Now we will do this more mock testing. So more mock testing is required. So for that, what we are going to do here is import server on dot dot and mocks server. Okay, like this, and import rest from MSW. Okay, so again we have to do this rest from MSW. So now the final test of today's video is render error, comma, async not be zero, it should be like this, but what is coming one has become more. Okay, so like this. Then server dot use, what we have to use here is this handler server dot use rest dot get. Let me copy this thing. So I will copy this thing, server dot use rest dot get and request and ctx. But I'm like here we were showing the thing if it is successful. So but what we can do here is this ctx dot status 500. So in the case of an error, I am doing this status of 500. Okay, so after this, okay, this one I'll do this render users error will be, let me repeat this wait. So screen. So when we have this await thing, like when it comes after some time, we cannot use our get by thing. So we have to use find by text and error fetching users, and then expect error dot to be in, it's not text element, is error, because we're creating an error, to be in the document. Okay, I will save it and see our test got passed. Okay, so and with this we completed our not so long but quite big thing. Okay, quite big react test, and it is covers everything. So in the next test project not test project, next react project, you can always use testing. So with this I will end here. If you're not subscribed, please do subscribe. This kind of awesome long videos which takes a lot of hard work is going to come in the channel. So thank you.